I don't think you heard me. You're having a hard time tonight.
All right,
Jabs.
I don't trust President Obama with our records. I know you gave him a big hug, and if you want to give him a big hug again, go right ahead.
And punches.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
10 of the 17 Republican presidential hopefuls square off in their first primetime debate.
He's already hedging his bets because he's used to buying politicians.
Well, I've given him plenty of money.
And it was a match that appeared to be set against one man.
Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump.
Mr. Trump.
Mr. Trump.
That you called Mr. Trump a clown, a buffoon.
Mr. Trump's language is divisive.
But Donald Trump is refusing to stand down or give in.
Can I see hands? Who is unwilling tonight to pledge your support to the eventual nominee of the Republican Party, Mr. Trump?
So we have had a day to digest all of that from last night, and now to analyze who won, who lost, and who may be moving up to the next debate. Let's check in with our political power panel right now. Webster Barnaby, Republican, ran for the county commission in Volusia County, and Carlos Guillermo Smith. He's a former Orange County Democratic Party chair. He's now running for the Florida House District 49. Gentlemen, both of you, thank you so much for giving us your time here today.
Thank you for having us.
Webster, we've had a day on this, and let me talk to you about Donald Trump right out of the gate. What was the bigger sin, going after Megyn Kelly, the misogynistic allegations and so forth, or a lack of loyalty when he raised his hand and says, I'm not ruling out I would run independent if need be?
I would say it was both. Clearly, Mr. Trump was absolutely out of his league in terms of understanding that the moderator, Megyn Kelly, was asking a fair question. And it's not proper for a man to be a gentleman to not behave as a gentleman. And I was very, very disappointed to see his behavior and his demeanor towards women.
He got boos, but he also got cheers last night.
He absolutely got cheers because of his bellicose way in which he came back and the way he answered back, not necessarily at Megyn, but at the media.
Yeah. Carlos, as a Democrat, how did you view last night's debate?
Well, it was certainly very entertaining, but what was interesting is we had 10 guys on the stage last night, not a single new idea. Jeb Bush did not do very well. He's been struggling on the campaign trail for weeks, especially with his recent comments about wanting to slash women's health care funding. He looked uncomfortable. He looked nervous. And this is someone with lots of previous debate experience, who was the former governor of Florida, is surrounded by Bush family debate coaches. He could have done a lot better. Senator Marco Rubio proved to us again how out of sync he is with voters when he bragged about his extreme views, wanting to ban all abortions, not even making any exceptions for women who are the victim of rape or incest. That is an extreme policy position. It's out of sync with the voters. This is going to come back to haunt Republicans in 2016. And don't even get me started on Donald Trump, the Republican frontrunner.
Webster, I've heard other people say that if the Republicans win, it'll be without a single woman voting for them. A lot of what Carlos is saying here. Do we have a candidate that can maybe turn the tide on that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You can see clearly that the Republican field has far more candidates than the Democratic field, and that we have many, many candidates, such as Marco Rubio, who I actually think was on point with his comments.
Carlos, Marco Rubio actually said that the Democrats have no candidates that they can put together, but all they talked about was Hillary last night.
Well, we have plenty of strong candidates, that's for sure, but what was clear last night is the Republican war on women is waging on. That goes well beyond just the wanting to slash health care funding for women. It goes beyond their opposition to equal work for equal pay. It goes right down to the sexist remarks of the Republican front-running candidate Donald Trump, who called women who he disagreed with fat pigs, slobs, dogs. This morning, he even went on Twitter to attack the Fox News host Megyn Kelly, who he called a bimbo. This type of language is totally unacceptable. The same type of language is being leveled against Latino workers by Donald Trump. This has got to stop because it's going to be bad news for Republicans in 2016 with voters.
Well, gentlemen, we certainly look forward to the next debate and having you back in. We'll talk about that one as well.
Glad to be here.
Webster Barnaby and Carlos Guillermo Smith. Great to have you.
Thank you so much.
You bet.